This is a book I found a long time ago in our records for the family. And as you can tell, this kid here is it's a very old book. It's about, 100 years old. What's interesting is what's in it, the history. This book was, it's a scrap book made by a chief of police in Oregon, Roseburg, I believe, during the early 1900s, very early, and during the time of Prohibition. And he kept a lot of things that you don't see every day. Like right here, arrested, Oregon conquers these forgers. And what he's done is the guy was a pack rat, but these were the kind of criminals they went after. And what he's done is he's taken a marking pen and marked them out, I guess the ones they caught. And the marking pen, the ink actually in it has separated the pages. Now that guy looks pretty bad, doesn't he? And then he has all these, this is from February 14th, 1915. So that's 90 years old. And he has all these telegraphs. This is from a chief of police. And these are things that he collected. And here, like, this is a Western Union telegraph. And this was done in February 22nd, 1915. And they're telegraphs from, this is how the police talk to each other back and forth. They would send these Western Union telegraphs, and they would send them back and forth. Like here's a statement from 1911 for the guy paid, I guess it's a police somewhere on doing his job, but meals were $1.85, and looks like he bought a cigar for 50 cents, so the city owes him $2.35. And here we have prisoners of Salem departed in bad storms. And remember, this was a time during Prohibition. Now this is something really interesting I've never seen before here. These are dealers' records on sales of revolvers or pistols in the state of Oregon in the United States. And this will says that the maker was a Savage Arms, and it was a .32 caliber. The guy's 42 years old. He's 5 feet tall, brown hair, dark something or other, and he's got all these copies of these revolver sales that I don't know why he's got them, but they're really cool. And then he's got notice of owners to dogs and more telegraphs. This one right here is 1918. It says, just received notice George was killed in a Gray Harbor motor accident. Wire me, Everett Street, Portland, Oregon. And wire quick if Wheeler killed. Shipyard was D.R. Wheeler. Shipyard was another name for another thing. And then we have like a telephone company records here. And this gives you just a moment in time. This was 1918, and here's a receipt for $7 and something, and another one. And here's more of these revolver state deals. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them here, but it's just really neat because they're age 26. It was a .32 caliber Colt, and signature purchase anyway. And here's one from a U.S. attorney. Chief of Police, Marshville, Oregon, after full consideration of Schumacher case, you are hereby authorized to release him from federal custody. As I have advised, he received permission to come within a restricted zone. I think that's restriction of the president. Warn him, however, that he must not, under any circumstances, again violate the president's proclamation in this regard. And this is written by Haney, U.S. Attorney, whoever that is. And then what else we got? They're just neat. And here's a Marshville, Oregon, December 12, 1916. This guy's a prisoner, it says, in the state of Minnesota from Marshville, Oregon, for the purpose of answering the charge of wife desertion. They're pending against me. Wife desertion. Now that's probably pretty a lot. Then he says arrest for felony embezzlement. William Pappas, Greek, very dark complexion, dark eyes, hair, large circular sore in left forearm, sore on outer corner of left brow at Allen's pool room of the city. And then of course we have, this is very important, whiskey carriers caught. My God. Move, cat. This one is neat. This is Herbert Shelton, sheriff and tax collector, Lynn County, Oregon, Albany, July 10th, 1930. And this is to the chief of police in Marshville, Oregon, which I believe this gentleman that owned the book was chief of police. And it says that this Raymond, age 34, is 5'3", obtained conditional pardon on the release from the governor was to make monthly payments for his fine. He was serving time in our jail for possession of intoxicating liquor. The last we heard from him, he was working as a bellboy at the Chandler Hotel. He may be engaged, check this out, in the selling of liquor. I understand he associates with the son of a local Dodge dealer. I mean, you know that's got to be a problem. And you may be able to ascertain his whereabouts through that source. The order from the governor directs all officers to arrest the said Raymond in the event he fails to make regular payments. If you're successful in apprehending the party, please place him in jail and notify us by telephone collect or wire. Yours truly, Herbert Shelton, Deputy. And this is from the Bureau of Investigation, U.S. Department of Justice. And this was signed by John Dowd, Special Agent in Charge, in 1930. And I actually found a copy of the famous Flyers baby that was kidnapped in here. That was the wanted poster, the Lindbergh baby. And like an idiot, I sold it. I should have kept it, but it was an original copy, original one of them. But some of the things are neat. This is a steamboat problem they had back then. And let's see, come on. It's just a scrapbook he's kept, but it's really interesting. Remitters, May 26, 1913. And this is, here's some more of the Oregon State. Oh, this is from, this is how you used to get into the Oregon State Insane Asylum back in the day, 1913. It says, received from this sheriff, a person judged insane by the county court of somewhere. County duly certified transcript, the warrant, county judge. So, hereby property of the above named insane person. So they did things pretty easy back then. Pretty cool. And he's got a couple of those. But the one thing I want to point out, if I can, is there were different prison things back in the day. They had they have some rules and regulations on entering a prison. Here we go. Oregon State Penitentiary, Route 1, Box 1, right on this line or inside of the paper only. This is how they did things back in the day. And it says on this permit, this is a permit to enter the prison, all persons writing to the prisoners in the penitentiary must sign their full names. Prisoners must also sign their full names to their letters. Letters by the prisoners must be in plain language, with no mysterious or doubtful expressions, signs, or symbols. While correspondence of the prisoners held on confidential, the officials must know who is writing and what is written. Visitors wishing to see friends or relatives will be admitted any day except Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. And that was from Salem, Oregon, 1916. I thought that was kind of cool. And let's see. Here's the creme de la creme of police work. Liquor destroyed, September 17th, 1917. September 5th, John Rundle, 1 quart Pebble Ford vodka, whiskey. And witnesses, E. Harrington, destroyed by J.H. Carter. You had to have witnesses back then, you see. Now, here's liquor destroyed. Another thing, we have 1 bottle of Springfield whiskey, a bottle of Brook whiskey, a bottle of Pebbleford whiskey, County whiskey, Old Sage whiskey, Patty O'Shea's. And then we have liquor destroyed on August 27th, 1917. And what's the neat part about these, and they have all these other bottles that have been destroyed, but we have witnesses were Gordon Smith, Walter Richardson, destroyed by J.W. Carter. That was the sheriff at the time. Now, when they just say destroyed, we have 8 quarts of Old Skipper, broken, all these weird names. January 29th, 1917. Emptied in toilets by J.W. Carter. Witnesses, just in case, they need to make sure that whiskey's put down the toilet. Witnesses were J.T. Brand, city attorney, Duncan Ferguson, acting mayor, H.J. Kimball, Jr., councilman, L.G. Smith, chief mechanic, and Chase Matson. So, all the upstanding citizens were right there when all this whiskey was destroyed. So when we look at anthropology and trying to figure out what happened in a place out of time, we have to put ourselves in that time of 1913, or back in the Incas in 1525, or back when Tesla was in 1912. And you see how hard it is to understand the way they lived back then, because we only view it through a very clouded lens of our 2010 eyes. So, this is a good thing about critical thinking. I just think it's a really neat notebook, and I don't know, is there anything on the back? No, nothing on the back. It's very, very old. They have castles, and this is an Arabian hat that was popular at the time. I think it's called a Zouave, I think. Anyway, that's a good lesson in critical thinking.